If you know Dave Rubin, maybe if you're next to him in one of those popular internet cafes, show him just this part of the video, starting now. Some More News presents to Dave Rubin specifically. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Champ. Hi. You look great. The beard looks... Listen, I heard people tried to kill you on that Surrounded video, and I just wanted to explain what happened. Specifically, I'd like to talk to you about that whole thing where you accidentally took money from Russia. And as you say, you didn't know. You simply took money from some random European financier named Edward Gregorian, who for whatever reason wanted you to just do a show that, as you seem to be implying, wasn't political, where you just talk about clips on the internet. I hear you.
I literally did a call-in show at first, so my audience just called me and asked questions. Sometimes we talked about basketball, we talked about video games. It had literally nothing to do with foreign policy. I don't think we did one show on Russia or anything else. And then we shifted the show. That was kind of boring to me, so I was like, my team, 5 minutes before we go live, will pick viral videos. You know, woman throws hamburger at somebody at Wendy's, and I'll respond to it. That's what we did.
It's just a clip show, like Tosh, or for the elderly, The Soup, or for the dead, America's Funniest Home Videos. I hear you, Dave, and you did not realize it was made with Russian funding by a company that was specifically trying to undermine the United States. Okay. That was probably very upsetting and embarrassing for you. I'm sorry that happened. And it was a while ago, like 2 whole years ago. I'm sure you just want to move on from that, which I totally understand. But I wanted to explain why other people aren't ready to move on, even if you didn't know it was happening. Okay, so imagine 2 rival sports teams at 2 different high schools. Let's call one team the All-American Eagles and the other team Satan, the Fightin' Satans. Now, one day, a bunch of the kids from the AV club at the Satan school, let's call that school the Crossroads School for Arts and Sciences, and evil. Let's say those AV club kids hatch a plan to sabotage the American Eagle School, and their plan is to pretend to be part of that school and hire kids from that school, kids from the theater club and cheerleading squad, to put on school shows that are secretly designed to encourage everyone in the school to fight amongst each other and get less informed so they don't focus on winning the big badminton game. Now, imagine you're one of those theater kids at the Eagle School, and you get secretly hired by the Satan School to put on a play. Even if that play isn't about badminton and you got to choose the play, it says something to people that you were chosen by the Satan School at all. The school that was specifically looking for students who would effectively destabilize and misinform the school. That means they saw you as someone to support for that goal, that your general views and natural instincts would just do that. They let you have freedom because they didn't need to give you a script. Now, you claim you were just doing this funny internet clip show and not talking about politics, but I don't know if you realize this, but the show can still be watched online. I looked it up. It was called People of the Internet. Very clever, Dave. And here's a clip from an episode titled, "Does this prove homeschoolers are smarter?"
Look, the schooling situation in general right now, and I can say this as a father of 2 young kids, like even here in Florida where we have great public schools right now. Florida used to be the joke of the country because it was thought of as where all the old people go to, you know, as heaven's waiting room and no income tax, so there wasn't a ton of money going into the school system. Florida's completely reversed that. It's in large part because of DeSantis, but not only because of DeSantis. And we've pretty much removed the woke stuff out of the schools and all of that. So there's a lot of good things happening here. But the general idea of sending your kid wherever you are, to a state-run school to be taught God knows what by a bunch of people who are radical activists. And it's not just it's not just this one-off, like when you see the Libs of TikTok account with the purple-haired person talking about how they're queering the third graders or whatever. Like that's not a one-off. That is really almost wholly infected the system.
Ah, yes. Very funny stuff, Dave. That was you responding to one of these funny clips, except the clip in question was just a kid talking about school shootings. It wasn't a kid getting hit with a hamburger or kicked in the balls by a horse or something. In fact, you even forget to laugh about the clip after the clip plays, and then you catch yourself and do a fake laugh because it's not actually a funny clip at all.
That's a good point. That is a good point.
So now that you've seen a clip from that show, the show you did, does that not seem extremely political to you, Dave? Maybe you're not talking about Russia, but you are specifically endorsing a right-wing politician in that clip. And then you go on to say that American public schools are brainwashing kids to be woke and that you ostensibly shouldn't put your kids in school. And a Russian company paid you for that. They paid for you to do that show because they specifically wanted to make shows like that to undermine America. And there you are, saying that American public schools are indoctrinating kids and encouraging people to not use them. So stay with me, Dave. Think about that. Think about the fact that Russia thinks that message is a good way to undermine America because you are encouraging people to reject education and perhaps depicting schools in a way that just maybe isn't true. After all, you say that your kids are doing fine. Have you, Dave, actually ever met some purple-haired teacher who tried to make all of her students trans? Or is that just a thing you, perhaps, saw on a video or read on Twitter? Think hard, really focus. Because even if the specific content on that particular show wasn't aligned with Russia's interests, they're clearly trying to subsidize your entire career to keep you afloat in general. Think about that. And also, maybe watch that clip again. Take your time. Perhaps it says something about your opinions and your ideology that even the stuff you consider to be non-political, casual, clip show conversation is actually deeply dogmatic talking points of right-wing politics that happens to coincide with Russia's desire to destabilize America via misinformation and divisiveness. I guess what I'm saying is, I'm sorry to be the one to tell you, but that was a political show that you did for Russia. And then, when you're confronted about why this happened, you explained it by saying this.
So I was reached out to by Lauren Chen, who you might know as, what's her name, Post-Millennial Online? Or
she's
something.
like the Canadian white nationalist that's Asian.
Roaming Millennial. And I've known her for about 10 years.
Okay.
And we were friendly over the years, and we had agreements and disagreements, and we were on each other's shows. And she contacted me a couple of years ago and said that she had some backers that she was talking to, and she was starting a new network, and they were talking to all sorts of people. She mentioned Tim Pool. She mentioned a whole bunch of creators that you guys know and I'm sure love. But it was people all over the political aisle. She said they wanted to create a free speech network. I said to her, listen, I am extremely, extremely busy, but I would consider doing something for you as long as I 100% control it. You have no control over the content whatsoever.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask for a ridiculous amount of money because I don't have time.
Oh, so you did it for a lot of money. Yeah, we know, bud. See, that's part of the problem, sport. A lot of people, champ, when asked to do a job, slugger, will often look into that job like a reverse job interview. You can Google them, Tiger, and see what they've done in the past, dumbass, and so on. But you didn't do that. And you agreed to something for the money, and because all your friends did it too. And some of those friends likely knew this was for Russia. Now think about that for a second. What does that say about your friends, Dave? If all of your friends or peers also took money to do this propaganda, maybe there's something fundamentally wrong with the industry you are in. And if the things you just casually say happen to align with this propaganda, that also seems concerning, doesn't it? And maybe in the future, you shouldn't just blindly agree to something for the money or publicity. Maybe you should think about the words coming from your mouth, because when compiled into sentences, words mean things. Seems like an important lesson considering you didn't learn it for the Surrounded video either.
I kind of didn't want to do it because I've just been through enough versions of the internet and dealt with the hate and the whatever. My team really wanted me to do it. I was like, you know what? I'll give it. I'll do it. Whatever. It's not a big deal.
Dave Rubin. He'll do it. Whatever. It's not a big deal. Slap that on your business card, buddy. Look, I get it. We need money. Beards aren't cheap. I mean, yours looks like it might be, but maybe in the future, you should think about what these career choices say about you. And perhaps you'll realize that's why other people are so angry with you. All right. Get out of here, you scamp. This has been Some More News Presents to Dave Rubin specifically. Hey, buddy.